bilisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good evening, very good afternoon to everybody. Semua sihat?
Sihat, Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So kita ada lagi 3 minit ya. Lagi 3 minit insyaAllah kita akan mulakan kelas kita hari ni 2.10. Alright, start recording. So far we have 49 of you. Okay. So half of the class. Okay, so okay, shall we start? Class, can I start? Okay. So, inshallah, today is our chapter, basically chapter 6, not chapter 5, okay, which is on financial management. We will divide on 4 parts, but everything will be covered 2 days, okay. We will end from part 1, part 2, and part 3 and part 4 by today. So thank you to IR Dr. Saina Budin to prepare and the slide and edited by Dr. Bulan and Dr. Zainul. Alright, so basically learning outcome at the end of this chapter, you should be able to one is understand the concept of financial management and its application in engineering fields, and then you will able to understand an application of future, present, and present future factors, conversions, present annual and annual present factors conversions, future annual and annual future factors conversion at various N and I. Okay, that's the at the end of this chapter. Okay, for number 3 and number 4, we already withdraw this topic from this chapter, right? So just a reminder for you. Normally during the final test, this will cover 25% of the marks from 100. So most of students will get 0 for this chapter. I don't know why. So please concentrate, please listen carefully, please understand what we learned today. If you have any questions, you can ask me at the end of the lecture or during the lecture. And next week we also have a tutorial especially for this chapter, which is tutorial means you can discuss again with your respective lecturers. All right. Okay, so why financial management is important to engineers? First, because of engineers design and create. Okay, so when you design and create, it will involve economic decision. Correct or not? You produce something, you want to sell it, you must know what's the cost of it. All right. When you have a project, for example, you win a tender project this year, that project will go for 10 years, for example, what's the cost next 10 years? That one you have to calculate, you have to understand how to calculate it. All right. So engineers might be able to incorporate economic analysis into their creative efforts. All right. So these are some of the reasons why financial management is important to engineers. Okay. So when you study about financing, of course you should know what's the meaning of time value of money. Okay, or TVM. Okay, TVM explains the change in the amount of money over time for funds owned by corporations, okay, or individuals. Okay, so that means corporate investment are expected to earn returns. Investment involve money, and money has a time value. Time value, that means 1 ringgit at this particular year, not same as 1 ringgit for the next 10 years. The value is different. Okay. For example, 1 ringgit in 1992, you can purchase one nasi lemak and one teh ais. Okay, the cost is the 1 ringgit. But at this 2020, you won't get 1 ringgit for one nasi lemak and one teh ais at the same quality, at the same amount of the things. All right. So that's why time value of money is important when you want to know either your budgetary is correct or not. Okay, for example, when you listen you listen to the budgetary parliament budgetary, you can see the difference. Why last year's the cost is like this, the next year the cost is become more expensive. All right. So the time value of money is the most important concept in engineering economy. Okay. So financial management involves formulating, estimating, and evaluating. All right. So easy to use math techniques simplify the evaluations. Right. Kalau if you talk about one project, you just discuss like this without numbers and facts and figures, it's difficult to understand. So we are as engineers, normally we show our presentation in the value of money or calculations. Okay. So general step for decision making process: understand the problems, collect relevant information, define the set of feasible alternative, identify the criteria for decision making, evaluate, all right, and then select the best alternative. That's a normal thing, right? So for financial also same. You have a few methods to represent your projects. All right. So in this chapter, you should know what is interest and what the interest rate means. Interest is the manifestations of the time value of money, TVM. That means the manifestations of TVM. So fee that one pays to use someone else's money, that's also interest. Difference between ending amount of money and the beginning amount of money, that's a interest. Okay. So what's the interest rate? Interest rate, when you divided the interest that you receive over principal time 100%, that's an interest rate. Okay. Any questions for interest and interest rate? Okay. So interest when you borrow the money. So what's the rate of return? Rate of return when you get profit from it. Okay. Interest earned over a period of time is expressed as a percentage of the original amount principal. That means rate of return equal to interest occurred per time unit over original amount time 100%. Okay, so when you borrow the money, you pay interest. But when you lend someone money, you will receive the return. That means the rate of return you can calculate. Okay, so please understand what's the difference between interest rate and rate of return. Okay, rate of return when you as an investor. Okay, interest rate when you borrow from someone. Okay. Okay, this is a commonly used symbol. All right. When earlier I show you what's a FPAT Tn, right? So this represent the symbol. T is a time, usually is a period such as year or month. P is a value of amount of money at time T. Okay, normally present at time 0. That's why normally we say present value. Okay, P. F is a future value. Okay, F is the value or amount of money at some future time. Okay, it's normally at T equal to N. A is a series of consecutive equal end of period amount of money. That means annually. Okay, and N is number of interest period. I is an interest rate or rate of return. All right. Okay, when you learn financing, you will not run away with the term of cash flow. Okay, so what is a cash flow? Okay, you have cash inflow, that means money come to you. Okay, inflow. Okay, so for example, as a revenues. Okay, receive income, saving generated by projects and activity that flow in. Okay. Normally, cash inflow we give in plus sign. Ada siapa-siapa nak cakap ke? Okay, dah settle dah Gazwani? Alright. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, cash flow. If cash inflow, that means the resources come to you. Cash outflow when you make a payment. Okay, disbursement. Okay, cost expenses, tax costs by project. That's all the cash outflow. That means your cash going out. Okay, normally we put minus sign. When money going out, you put a minus sign. When money came in, you put a plus sign. Okay, simbol campur. Okay, yang itu simbol tolak. Okay, what's the net cash flow? Net cash flow when you cash inflow minus cash outflow. Okay, so from there you will get the net cash flow. Okay. Alright, that's a term that you will use. Alright. So far, any questions? You already know what's the interest rate, what is the rate of return, cash inflow, cash outflow. Okay, now we will look on the cash flow diagram. Okay, what is a cash flow diagram? Cash flow diagram, you just draw a timeline, okay, of the year, okay, for the x-axis. Then you put all the cash inflow or cash outflow on the timeline. Okay, this yang normally student miss masa jawab test. Normally cash flow diagram kita bagi dalam 2 atau 3 markah untuk lukis cash flow diagram saja, which is student unable to draw cash flow diagram. Okay, when you receive the question, you straight away make a calculation, not draw cash flow diagram at all. That's your normal mistake done by student. Okay, so in cash flow diagram, okay, you draw a timeline, and then if you have the cash inflow, okay, cash inflow means positive, right? So you can put arrow up. If cash outflow, which is negative, you put arrow down. Okay, that's how you draw the cash flow diagram. Okay. For example, okay, construct a cash flow diagram that represents the amount of money that will be accumulated in year 15 years from an investment of 40,000 now. Okay, when you say 40,000 now, means this is a P, value of P. Okay, present values 40,000 at the interest rate of 8%. 8%, that means interest I. Okay, so what you need to do, just draw one line, straight line. Okay, then you can make a scale. Start from 0, 1 until to 15. If you want to cut it shorter, then you can erase between, okay, then put the two parallel line here. All right, then write it down. P is a value at the 0, all right, n equal to 0, sorry, t equal to 0, so P is a 40,000 here. Should we put negative or not? Student, should we put sign negative or not?
Tak ya.
Tak perlu. Why?
Atas bawah.
Sebab kita dah tunjuk dia ke bawah kan. It is a represent negative sign. Boleh So then dia kata after 15 years. So dekat 15 years tu you buat satu lagi line naik atas. You nak tahu what's the future amount of this 40,000 ni. Itu je cash flow diagram. Senang kan? Okay. Another example, construct cash flow diagram to find the present worth in year 0 at an interest rate of 15% per year for the following situation. Year 0, cash flow dia negative 19,000. Okay. From year 1 to 4, every year dia akan dapat 8100. So macam nak lukis? Ini adalah A, annual dekat sini beritahu kan, maknanya annual income dia, right? So dia tahu what's the present worth. Okay, present worth P you tak tahu berapa value dia. Okay, ada satu amount pada year 0 negatif 19,000 dia letak sini 19,000. Then every year you dapat positif 8100. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 you letak 8100. Jangan lupa letak interest rate dia I sama 50%. Then from here you can calculate what's a P. How to calculate later on, I will show you how to calculate it. Okay. So economic equivalence, combination of interest rate of return and time value of money to determine different amount of money at different point in time that are economically equivalent. Okay, maknanya tahun 1 ke tahun 10, apakah dia punya amount yang economically equivalent. Okay, dia bergantung pada dia punya interest rate dia. Okay, daripada situ you boleh tahu what's the value pada 10 tahun yang akan datang. Okay, so use rate I and time T in upcoming relations to move money value present, future and annual between time point T equal to 0, 1 until n. Okay, to make them equivalent, not equal at the rate I. Okay, for example, okay, $100, $100 now. Okay, what is the value of $100 after a year at rate of return 10%? So, how to calculate? Straightforward kan? Betul tak? You boleh tahu kan? Kalau you kira 10% daripada 100 is $10. So $10 campur dengan RM100. So that's why at the year 1 you will get $110. Okay, so that means $100 now is economically equivalent to 110 1 year from now if the 100 is invested at the rate of 10% per year. Ni macam ASB lah, betul? Kalau you masuk tahun ni $10,000, nanti kerajaan umumkan after a year, kerajaan umumkan you dapat 5%. So you dapatlah nanti terima $10,000 dapatlah RM500 contoh dia. That's what we call as economically equivalent. Okay, value your money values on that time. So that what we call as a simple and compound interest. So kalau simple interest is accumulated using principal only, which is interest equal to principal times number of period times interest rate. Okay, ataupun I equal to PNI. Okay, so dari sini you boleh kira lah. Alright. Ni bukan interest rate, this is interest, amount of interest. Boleh Okay, kalau compound interest, interest is based on principal plus all accrued interest. There is interest compound over time. Okay, so this is a formula to calculate interest for the compound interest. Okay, that means for example, for the time of 10 years, 20 years. So that what we call as a compound interest. Okay, maknanya dia akan bertambah setiap tahun. Okay, that's a difference between compound interest dengan simple interest. Simple interest dia darab terus. Okay, principal kali berapa tahun kali dengan interest. Tapi kalau untuk compound interest you akan kira satu-satu. Tahun pertama you dapat 110. Tahun kedua you ambil value of 110 you kalikan balik 1, you akan dapat amount yang lain. Nampak? Bukannya 120. Betul? You akan dapat 121,000. Kalau tahun ketiga dapat 133,000. Kalau you kira simple interest, dia terus je kan. Principal kali N 3 tahun kali dengan I 0,1, you akan dapat 130,000. Tapi kalau compound interest, dia akan naik. That's why in saving, normally you have to listen to your agent. Either they will give you compound interest or simple interest. Kalau you buat loan, try dapat simple interest. Kalau you nak investment, cuba dapat compound interest. Alright, that's the difference. Okay, so how time interest affect money? Okay, ini kita dah buang 3 topik daripada chapter ni. Sebab kalau kita masuk arithmetic dengan geometrik, most of you tak boleh nak buat. Sorry, 2 topik. Okay, kita find I and R and masih ada. Okay, normally ini formulas yang kita akan bagi bila you buat test. And then nowadays InsyaAllah this semester also open book test. So InsyaAllah you can refer. Okay, can refer this formula. But if we give you formula but you don't know how to use, not worthy also, right? Okay, this is a formula yang kita akan bagi. Okay. Alright, so how to calculate future value if you know present value P, you tahu berapa F pada masa akan datang jika diberi I dengan N. Okay, dia punya rumus dia is given here. Future value is equal to present value times 1 plus interest power of N. Okay, itu cara nak kira what's the future values. Okay, kalau you tahu present value. Alright, ataupun you boleh refer dalam you punya Excel. Kalau you boleh buka Excel, okay, dia ada rumusnya ini. Okay, macam mana tahu future value jika you tahu principal value. Okay, ada dalam Excel. Alright, so dalam cash flow diagram macam ni kita tunjukkan, if P is given here, kan, you have to plot in the cash flow diagram. You tahu pada masa N berapa dia punya future value. Okay, you boleh cari menggunakan rumus yang ini. Kalau you nak tahu pula you have a future value, what's a present value, you nak dapatkan, you menggunakan this formula. P equal to F times 1 over 1 plus I power of N. Alright, maknanya kalau for example you nak beli kereta berharga Mustang berapa harga? Mustang lebih kurang 435,000 kan? 435,000 you nak beli kereta Mustang 435,000 pada 10 tahun akan datang. So katakan interest rate sekarang lebih kurang berapa? 6%. Betul? Jadi you kena tahu berapa duit yang you pelada masa sekarang dalam masa 10 tahun. You boleh kira. Okay, di mana you kira present value yang you pelada adalah F, which is 435,000 kalikan dengan 1 over 1 plus 0.06 power of 10. Then you akan dapat value dia. berapa duit yang pada sekarang you masuk dalam bank dengan kadar interest 6% setahun, you akan dapat 435,000 selepas 10 tahun. Okay. Do you have any questions so far? So F represent future, P represent present. Okay, this how to calculate, how to use. Boleh Student, are you okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now you already know the present value and future value. Okay. Alright, so benda ni juga macam saya kata dia ada dalam Excel. Okay, jom kita tengok dekat mana kat Excel ni. Okay, kalau you buka sekejap ni, you buka Excel file. Share you the screen. Okay, ni nampak kan Excel file? Semua tahu kan Excel file?
Tahu.
Okay, kalau you tengok kat function ni, you tekan function fx1. Okay, you tengok bahagian mana? Ini you pilih bahagian financial. Okay, so dekat financial ni dia akan tunjuk you FV, future value, nampak ni. You tahu net present, so you boleh dapatkan FV. Kat sini juga dia ada bagi you macam mana nak dapatkan NPV, macam mana dapatkan PV. Okay, macam mana nak dapatkan lagi apa, NPV, PV, apa lagi yang nak tunjukkan you, FV, NPV, PV dengan rate. Rate pun you boleh kira gunakan ni. So inilah kelebihan Excel. Maknanya kalau you dapat soalan assignment, which is tak ada kan assignment sekarang. Okay. Alright. So okay, sambung balik tadi. Alright, so inilah future value menggunakan apa tu, spreadsheet. Okay, yang you boleh gunakan. So far, any questions? Masih okay ke petang-petang ni financing?
Masih okey.
Okay, so okay, sebelum I terlupa. So maknanya kalau kita nak katakan tadi I kata how to draw apa tu, cash flow diagram. Okay, so semua boleh nampak I punya window ada ke?
Tak nampak, sir.
Whiteboard belum?
Dah. Belum.
Okey, sekarang boleh kan? Semua ada kan? Okey, cash flow diagram, tarik satu line tegak, lepas tu tarik line macam ni. Kalau you ada dia terlampau panjang, okey, you stop situ, then alright, janganlah conteng. Saya tak suruh conteng, saya suruh tengok je. Alright, so ini biasanya you akan start daripada macam ni. Make sure you scalekan sama. Ini 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sampai sini you boleh buat macam ni kan. Ini katakan you nak buat 20 tahun, you boleh ambil sini terus 19, 20. Okay, ini dah cukup dah cash flow diagram. You lukis ini je, kita bagi satu markah. Okay, kemudian kalau we talk about present value, okay, kalau present values biasanya ni kita pendekkan sikit Line ini biasanya okay. Line ini biasanya kita pendek sikit. Oh, sorry. Kita pendek macam tu je. Okay, kalau we talk about present values, okay, macam ni. Kita letak ni P, present values kat sini. Future value biasanya pada tahun akhir dia. Berapa yang end dia lah kan. Ini akan jadi dia punya future value. Okay, sometimes present value dia kata dia dah bagi amount negative 40. So you letak 40k kat sini. Okay, contoh dia. Alright, so bergantung pada soalan. A dia adalah dekat sini. Setiap tahun. Consistent. Okay, kita akan bagi you sampel yang A dia consistent. Okay. What happen if you have the question yang dia kata tahun ketiga, tahun keempat tak ada, tiba-tiba dia kata amount dia pada tahun ke-6 ada balik. Tahun ke-6 dia ada balik. Okay, tahun ke-7 tak ada. So dia tanya macam mana nak campur benda ni? Okay, yeah. So you have to read the question properly. Normally P we start dengan 0. Betul tak tadi? Betul tak? Okay, that means kalau you ada satu value kat sini, you start dari sini 0, ni untuk calculation kan. So you boleh tahu daripada sini berapa F dia balik. Okay, you kira yang ni pergi ke F dia. Jadi kalau ada soalan macam ni, you tambah F value dia, then dibawa balik pergi ke belakang P. That's a simple. So you must be creative and you must know where should present value tu berada. Boleh? Okey. Dah blur tu? Dah confused?
Boleh, sir.
Blur? Blur kat mana? Kalau blur, tanya. Kat mana yang tak faham? Okey, tak apa. Kejap lagi. Kita habiskan ni, insyaAllah baru you nampak banyak. Sekarang you tahu how to calculate present and future. Future and present. Alright. So these are some example how to finding future value. You boleh buat, you boleh kira. Ini straightforward. Dia bagi satu P 5,000, N dia selama 10 tahun, I dia 8%, berapa future value. Ini masukkan dalam formula terus. Right. Ini maknanya soalan dia tak trick. Tapi dalam ni quiz ataupun test nanti, soalan ni kita akan buat trick sikit kan. Takkanlah kita bagi satu value kat sini, dia akan banyak-banyak value lagi kat sini. Dan kita tanya, what's the future value? Itu nanti you kena kira. Okay. Alright, this one please go through. Also exercise ni I hope you can try, you can discuss during the tutorial next week. Now let's look on the uniform series involving present and annual and present. Uniform series, kita tak bagi you gradient, kita tak bagi you kita tak bagi you arithmetic ataupun geometric punya value. Kita cuma ajar you uniform series. Uniform that means value dia ni sentiasa sama aja. Okay, every year. So daripada present value, you boleh dapatkan dia punya annual value dia yang you perlu maintain, ataupun daripada annual value you boleh dapatkan present value yang you kena cari. Right? Ini correlation between P and A. Tadi P and F, ni P and A. Okay. Alright. So given the PA relationship, ini rumus dia, alright, nak dapat P jika di given A, alright, adalah ini rumusnya dengan syarat I cannot be 0. Kalau you dapat 0, maknanya tak boleh kan, you akan dapat this not valid formulas. Okay, and then from here you can convert again, you can get A if you know P and I and N is given. Alright. So ini rumus dia. Okay, kat mana kita nak pakai? Ini rumus dia. This is example. Chemical engineers believe that by modifying the structure of the certain water treatment polymer, this company will earn an extra 5,000 per year. Maknanya dia dapat 5,000 setiap tahun. Okay, ini adalah dia punya A kan? A punya value. Okay. At an interest rate of 10%, I dia equal to 10%. How much would the company afford to spend now to just break even over a 5 years project period? Okay, so macam mana buat? So kalau soalan macam ni, first dia lukis line dulu, timeline dia, okay bro. So dia ada kosong 1 sampai 5, pasal 5 tahun you letak sampai habis kan. Dan dia kata setiap tahun dia akan dapat 5,000. So that's why you buat line ke atas, A dia equal to 5,000. Okay, I given 10% and dia 5. So daripada situ dia tanya what's the value of P yang you perlu invest sekarang untuk dapatkan benda ni supaya dia break even. So you boleh kira P equal to 5,000. Okay, yang ini menggunakan apa? Ini menggunakan spreadsheet. Okay, okay, so you punya calculation yang kat sini. P equal to A 1 plus I power of n minus 1 divided by I times 1 plus I power of n. So dia akan dapat value dia adalah 18,954. That means untuk dapatkan 5,000 setiap tahun ni, this present yang you perlu invest adalah sebanyak RM18,954. Itulah contoh dia. Alright, ni bila you buat projek maka macam ni lah, you nak tahu kan. Okay, exercise I will leave it to you and your. Alright, now tadi sebelum ni you dah ada present and future, present and annual. Now future and annual, annual and future also can be calculated. If A given, you know I value, you know N value, so you also know F value. What's the F value dia? Okay, future value dia pada tahun akhir dia. Alright, so sama juga kalau F tahu, I tahu, N tahu, you boleh calculate what's the value of A. Alright, okay. The difficult things is when you nak differentiate, adakah dia A, adakah dia value P, adakah dia value F, correct tak? So nampak macam senang je, bila baca soalan nampak senang je, tapi betul tak value tu? Alright, so converting from F to A and A to F, first convert future to present. Okay, maknanya future to present, maknanya dapatkan F kepada P, nampak? Then convert the sum P to the annual. Boleh? So daripada situ bila you merge kan, that's why you boleh dapat the N formula. Okay, you dapat A equal to F times, okay, kalau you nak dapatkan A annual dia, you tahu future dia, you tahu I dia, you tahu dia punya N period dia, then you boleh calculate what's the value of A. Also same when you rearrange back, alright, if you know annual punya value, then you boleh calculate F value if you know I value and N value. Alright, boleh tak? So far any questions?
Tak ada.
Okay, ni contoh dia. Contoh dia, annual cash flow determine the future worth of the net cash flow at an interest rate of 10% per year. Okay, maknanya daripada sini you ada income, you ada cost, betul tak? You ada income dan cost. So ini dia dah mencabar sikit. So berapa dia punya annual A dia? A dia adalah 200 tolak dengan 90. A dia setiap tahun adalah 110. Betul tak? Nampak tak ni? A dia, net dia adalah 110. Jadi apa yang you perlu buat adalah 110 tadi 10%. 10 tahun, 8 tahun. Maka daripada sini kalau you buat, okay, kalau you buat, that means kalau saya share sini whiteboard untuk soalan dalam kotak tadi sorry line dia lembab sikit hotel murah kot. Okay, jadi semua dulu. Okay, tadi dia kata dia 8 tahun 8 tahun kalau kita buat panjang sangat nanti rugi kan. Okey, katakan 8 tahun, sini start kosong, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Okey. Dan kita tahu setiap tahun dia akan dapat net dia adalah A sama dengan 110. Betul tak? I, kena tulis lah. I sama dengan apa? 10%. Ini kena letak ni kosong. 1, 2, 2, 3, 7, 8. Betul? So soalan dia tanya apa? Find what is a F value kan? Betul tak? Determine the future worth of the net cash flow. Okay. So dia tanya what is a dia F. You nak cari this one. F sama dengan berapa? So ini biasa bila you copy aja semua soalan ni, right? Soalan ni you convertkan kepada apa? Kepada cash flow diagram macam ni, then 3 marks straightforward, right? Kemudian buat calculation dia. Calculation dia tahu F sama dengan berapa tadi? How to calculate F? F sama dengan A kalikan apa? Ini kan? I. 1 campur I. Apa lagi? Rumus dia? Power of N tolak 1 bagikan dengan I. So ini masukkanlah I 0.1 kan, N 8, jadi you akan dapat value of A tadi 110. So you dapat value of F. Okay. Boleh? Okay. So kalau you kira, insyaAllah you akan dapat value soalan tadi adalah 1257949. That's value this. Alright. Okay, so 3 ways to find factor value for untabulated I or N value. Okay, use formula, use spreadsheet functions, or linearly interpolate in interest table. Okay, ni macam mana nak kira value of I. Okay, kalau is given what is the value of F ataupun ni. Okay, so cuba elakkan daripada gunakan interpolations. Okay, guna formula ataupun spreadsheet. Kalau interpolation biasanya you akan dapat value yang salah. Alright, kena hati-hati kat situ. Okay, so this one nanti you akan buat exercise. Okay, for unknown interest rate, okay, you only can calculate value of I if you know, okay, what's the value of N and another two value, either P or F or A. Okay, so kalau you tak ada two others value P, F or A dengan N, so definitely you cannot calculate your I values. Remember that, maknanya soalan tu tak lengkap. Boleh So macam mana? Benda ni straightforward. InsyaAllah, I believe you as mechanical engineering don't have the problems to find what's the value of I and value of N. Kalau value of N pula, dia kena ada I value dengan two others value P, F or A also. Okay, baru you dapatkan dia punya value of N. This one straightforward. Boleh Okay. Now let's look on the nominal and effective interest rate. Okay, compounding more frequent than annually. Apa different dia? When we say compounding and annually. Okay, So assume a time period, okay, denoted by T. 1 year is a standard. Okay. So let M represent the number of time that interest is compounded within time T. So that means T over M is the compounding period. Okay, normally M equal to 1 and the compounding period is 1 year. Betul Alright. For 1 year normally dia memang 1 year lah compounding period But this need not be true. Why? Okay. Every year, once a year at the end, so annually. Every 6 months, 2 times, you call it semi-annually. If every quarter, 4 times a year, that means quarterly. Every month, you will say monthly, which is 12 times a year. Every day, which is 365 times a year, you call it daily. Okay. All right. So continuous infinite number of compounding period in a year, right? So normally a bank or company or whatever servicing, okay, they will use the interest rate can be quoted in several different ways. So they use a different ways, and you must carefully look on it. Okay. For example, 12% per year, 1% per month, 12% per year compounded monthly. Is it same or not? So that's why you have to check it. Okay. Thus, you have to decipher the various way in order to determine which interest rate are equivalent, which interest rate are the best. Okay. So a nominal interest rate does not take into account the effect of compounding. That's a nominal interest rate. Okay. Mana dia tak kisah compounding tu, mana yang bertambah. Tadi dah tengok kan apa tu simple interest rate dengan compounded interest rate kan. Compounded interest rate mana dia akan tambah kan. So nominal interest rate does not take into account the effect of compounding. So therefore nominal rate can be misleading. Okay, that's why we get the nominal rate can be misleading. And effective interest rate is a true periodic interest rate that applies for a stated period of time. Alright, that's what we call as an effective interest rate. So for example, with monthly compounding, 12% per year would be nominal interest rate. 1% per month is the effective interest rate. That means 1% every month you will pay. Okay, it's effective. Okay, kalau 12% per year, normally itu adalah what we call as a nominal interest rate. There's a difference between nominal and effective. So normally we say nominal means in the name only. In the other word, it is not the real interest rate. So that's why people keep asking why my loan. You will ask later on your housing loan, for example, why my housing loans at the end of the year is more expensive compared to what you say. Okay, that's why you have to check it. So what's the difference between nominal and effective interest rate? So you need to convert nominal interest rate to the true effective interest rate. Okay. So, for example, if you say nominal interest rate R, so R is represented by effective interest rate over period times number of periods. Okay, for example, effective from there, if you arrange back, that means effective interest rate over period will equal to R over number of periods. For example, 1.5% per month effective interest rate is the same as 1.5 times 12, which is 18% nominal rate per year. All right, is the same as nominal interest rate semi-annually. 9% nominal interest rate semi-annually. Okay. 1% per week effective interest rate is equal to 52% nominal interest rate per year. Okay, so that's why you must listen carefully. Either they mention it as a nominal interest rate or effective interest rate, right? Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so if no, so pick this statement apart. 12% is the nominal interest rate. Okay, from the example, 12% annual rate compounded monthly. All right, but compounded monthly tells us of compounding period in the year, which is 12 times. Okay, so the effective interest rate per month is 1%. Okay, because this one you can directly change it because it's already mentioned compounded monthly in the statement. So if you want to convert, okay, to effective annual interest rate, so the effective annual interest rate normally is I, the symbol I that you use. Okay, so for the nominal interest rate, R compounded M times per year is I equal to 1 plus R over M power M minus 1. Okay, so that's what is the I effective. Okay. Okay, so which one to use, R or I? So some problems state only the nominal interest rate. Okay, so the nominal interest rate means that one is a R. Okay, remember, nominal interest rate is R. Always use the effective interest rate in solving problems. So kalau you nak buat calculation, make sure you use a I, effective interest rate. So the effective interest rate is always the one used in the published interest rate table, closed from time value of money formula and spreadsheet functions. All right. Okay. Let's look on the this example, monthly compounded example. Given R equal to 9% per year, compounded monthly. Apa maksud dia? Okay, so mana compounded monthly, mana M equal to 12. Okay, daripada sini, kalau you kira effective monthly rate is 0.09 divided by 12, which is 0.075% or 0.75% per month. Okay, so kalau you kalikan balik, okay, effective annual rate dia, macam tadi rumus kata, effective is I equal to 1 times R over M power of M minus 1, kan? Kalau tukarkan kepada effective annual rate, you akan dapat 1 plus 0.075 power of 12 minus 1, you akan dapat which is 9.38%. Nampak ya? Dia adalah lebih tinggi. Okay, effective annual rate dia adalah lebih tinggi. That's why you have to pay more. Walaupun you dia kata dia punya monthly compounded dia adalah 9% per year. Alright. So far any questions on the interest rate? So this one you can try later on and discuss during the tutorial. Okay. Any questions so far, class? So apa yang you dah tengok hari ni, setakat ni, you dah tahu how to calculate interest rate. You know what is the interest, what is interest rate, what is the rate of return. You know how to calculate a future value if you know the annual or present value by knowing the I and N value. Betul. You boleh kira juga annual value if you know what is the present or future value. You can also know future value if you know what is the present and annual value. Betul tak? Kelas?
Betul.
Okay. Now the tempat yang ataupun topik yang paling mencabar adalah macam mana nak gunakan all the information ni bila you nak buat evaluations. Okay. So that's why on this part 2, part 3 and part 4 adalah yang menggunakan how you can calculate, okay, based on future or annual value tu untuk menentukan you punya pelaburan. Is it worth it or not worth it to invest? Okay. The first method adalah menggunakan present worth. Okay, what we call as a present worth value. Okay, present worth value. Apa maksud dia? Maknanya semua calculations bring to present value punya comparison. Okay, so judging proposed investment, there are many ways of judging proposed investment, all based on the minimum rate of return. I. Okay. How to determine I? At least as high as the interest rate. Okay. Also based on other available opportunities. Alright. Okay, so judging proposed investment, 4 different methods: present worth, annual equivalent cash flow, internal rate of return, benefit cost of ratio. So, you ada 4 method, dengar baik-baik. You ada 4 method. Ada present worth, annual equivalent cash flow, maknanya you compare A dia, yang ni compare P, ataupun you cari dia punya internal rate of return, IRR, ataupun benefit cost ratio. So ini adalah yang kita akan tanya dalam soalan final test, which is you must look clearly. If the question not asking about what method you should use, so you can choose. Okay, but whatever method you choose, you must justify why you use that method. Boleh Okay. So setiap method ni ada kekurangan, ada kelebihan dia. Alright? Okay. Remember back for future to present, okay, you boleh dapatkan present to future also, right? And then between present and annual is a formula, and annual and present. Okay, so when you say using present worth, that means you want to know what is a P. Okay, you compare a P value on that year. Okay, so one alternative might have higher initial cost but lower annual cost or longer life. Must convert to comparable term. Of course kan, kalau you ada life yang 10 tahun, ada life yang 20 tahun, equipment contoh dia contoh you beli kereta, ada kereta tahan 5 tahun je. Myvi pakai 5 tahun, Mercedes pakai 20 tahun. So maknanya you boleh dapat 4 biji Myvi, 4 kali Myvi untuk samakan dengan life cycle untuk Mercedes contoh dia. Alright. So alternative may also have different income tax implications compared based on after tax performance. Okay. So calculation of present worth is based on discounting. Okay, which is future cost and benefit discounted to present. Whatever value future you rasa you akan dapat, you bawa balik ke masa sekarang. Okay. So discount rate, which is a minimum rate of return I, tell us how much we care about the future. Okay, so present worth is the most intuitive method. All costs and benefit are converted to year 0. Okay, so everything you bring to the year 0 and then you compare. Okay, adakah option A is better, option B is better. Okay, but can be difficult to implement for project with different life cycle. Okay, so ni adalah keburukan menggunakan present worth. Okay, because of dia ada life cycle dia. Okay, for example, current labor cost is 9,200 per year. Okay, so option to build a new equipment, kalau you nak buat equipment baru lah, first cost, maknanya cost asal you akan buat adalah investment 15,000. Kemudian labor masih juga pakai, you perlu labor sebanyak 3,3300 per year. Power, because dia pakai mesin kan, equipment, you have to invest on 400 per year. And then of course bila ada mesin mesti ada maintenance, 1,100 per year. Property tax insurance 300 per year. Income tax 1,040 per year. So total annual cost adalah 6,140 per year. Boleh faham tak ini? Okay, which is tinggi daripada harga labor. Okay, labor dia 3,300. Okay, kalau you pakai tanpa mesin, Okay, tanpa mesin you cuma spend 9,200. Okay, jadi worth it tak worth it untuk invest mesin ni? You as engineers, you have to depends your proposal. Kalau kita as engineer, of course kita we like to have the machines, right? We don't want using the operators. Okay, so only need to account for change in property tax, insurance, etc. Assumptions. Lifetime of equipment is 10 years. Contoh equipment tu can valid for 10 years. And then minimum rate of return maybe 9% per year. Daripada situ you can calculate. Okay. So the present worth cost for current options, oleh kerana dia straightforward kan, you tahu annual dia adalah 9,200, you boleh dapat what's the P dia. P dia adalah 59,050 untuk 10 tahun. Itu cost yang dia akan spend based on interest of 9%. Okay. Tapi kalau you kira pula based on menggunakan machines, you nak buat machines, okay. So present worth cost dia of new equipment dia, you kira 6140 adalah lebih kurang 39,407. Kemudian untuk first cost dia 15,000 tadi. Jadi total dia adalah 54,000. So daripada sini untuk 10 tahun yang akan datang, is it worth it or not worth it to spend the machines? Of course, daripada here you can see the difference is 5,000. So yes, it is better to have the equipment. That's how we calculate it. Ataupun this one another example. Okay. Maknanya alternative X has a first cost of 20,000 and operating cost of 9,000 per year and 5,000 salvage. Salvage ni maknanya bila dia jual balik, okay, itu adalah dia punya keuntungan kan. Alright, alternative Y will cost 35,000 with an operating cost of 4,000 per year and salvage value of 7,000 after 5 years. Okay, at I equal to 10% per year, which should be selected. So how to solve this question? You can make a table. Okay, make a table. Okay, so for machine A, okay, katakan you ada 0, 5, 5 dua kali untuk 10 tahun we based on calculation based on 10 years. So first 20,000, alright, and then dia punya operating cost here per year, okay, 9,000 per year. Then you kena calculate lah untuk 5 tahun berapa dapat, okay, operating cost. Then kalau you jual, okay, pada tahun kelima you jual, you akan dapat yang mana kalau jual 5,000 ni kan, ni 5,000. So you kira pula based on interest rate 12% tu berapa present worth dia. Okay. Kemudian untuk ni mention alternative X, ni alternative Y. Alternative Y pula you kira balik 35,000 masa mula-mula, ini 20,000 kan, betul. Interest masih sama. Daripada situ 9,000 ni 4,000 this amount, salvage dia 7,000. Okay, kalau compare ini present value dia 49,000, present value dia 45,000. That's why you choose the alternative Y, second option. Okay, be careful, benda ni akan berubah kalau interest dia berubah. Katakan you reduce interest at 10%, you akan dapati this one more cheaper compared to this one. Alright, so that's how you calculate. You do the comparison for the for what we call as for the equipment. Okay, ni benda yang sama lah. Ni using table, tadi using formula, using table. Okay, so what happen if a project with different life? Okay, different life ni contoh dia ada satu tu 20 tahun, satu tu 10 tahun. Macam mana you kena? Okay, untuk projek macam ni you kena samakan tahun dia. Okay, kalau ini 20 tahun, ini pun you kena jadikan dia sebagai 20 tahun. Okay, that's how you compare it. So that's why what we mention present worth dia punya ni dia akan effect. Contoh dia taklah you nak buat sampai 40 tahun punya calculation kan, because of dia punya life tak jumpa. Sometimes you ada 5 years, another one is 7 years. Betul, life dia. Berapa dia punya titik pertemuan dia? 35 kan? 35 years. Maknanya you kena buat kalau yang 5 year 7 kali, yang ni 5 kali. Akan ada 5 kali salvage. Itu maksud dia. Any questions so far? Boleh tak? Kelas? Okay, ni contoh dia untuk present worth. Boleh ke?
Boleh. Boleh, Doktor.
Apa dia?
Boleh.
Boleh. Okay, alright. So, basically daripada situ you dah habis yang untuk present worth punya calculation. Okay. Now, let's look on the annual equivalent cash flow. Apa pula annual equivalent cash flow ni cakap? Tadi present worth maknanya all the values you bring it to the current punya times. Okay. Right. Sebelum tu, I nak ambil attendance for today. Ni. Attendance for today. Kita ada 101 orang. Okay. Download attendance list. Okay, so I dah dapat attendance list. Now let's me continue. Okay. Okay, now annual equivalent cash flow. Tadi you bawa semua value dia pada present, pada n equal to 0. Okay. Untuk annual equivalent cash flow ni pula, you bawa semua value dia menjadi what's your A value. Okay, you compare between two project on dia punya A values dia. Correct? Okay, this is another way of judging investment. Again, based on minimum rate of return I. So, tadi P masih lagi bergantung pada I. A ni pun masih lagi bergantung pada I. Okay. So, with annual equivalent cash flow, all cost and benefit present or future converted to equivalent annual amount. Therefore, apa kelebihan dia? Yang ini, you tak perlu consider dia punya life cycle untuk equipment tersebut. Okay, walaupun yang itu 7 tahun, yang ini 10 tahun, you boleh samakan pada tahun, dicari N equal to 1 or 2 or 3. Because you tengok dia punya A value dia. Alright. Okay. Jadi macam mana convert A value, kalau you ada F, gunakan formula ni. Alright. Dan macam kalau you ada P, you gunakan formula, second formula, you boleh convertkan kepada A value dia. Okay. Untuk dia, contoh yang sama tadi current labor cost 9,200 okay, per year. Maknanya ini adalah current labor cost ni, maknanya ini adalah A value dia, betul? Okay, sekarang yang ini pula you kena convertkan kepada A value, semua dia punya A value. Okay. Okay. So mana A value dia? Ini yang per year ni memang A value dia dah. Dicampur aja 6140. Kemudian first cost ni you tukarkan daripada present value dia 15,000, tukarkan kepada A value dia. So kalau you tukarkan, you campur semua, you dapati, nampak ni, daripada present value tukar pada A value 23. So total A value dia dah 8477. Jadi you nampak ada different ya. Maknanya to invest for the machines still okay. Okay untuk 10 tahun. Alright. Boleh?
Okay.
Okay. Itu kalau you guna I berapa? You gunakan I 9%. Apa jadi tiba-tiba ada recession YYT, I dia naik 16%, so dia jadi worse kalau you invest for the machines. That's why kalau you tengok present values, annual worth, annual equivalent cash flow ataupun present worth masing-masing menggunakan value of I. Correct tak? Dia masih bergantung pada value of I. Kan I ni apa? Interest rate. Jadi ada tak cara lain untuk kita buat judgement? Okay. What do you think? Dan kalau you tengok kedua-dua dia, kalau you gunakan annual equivalent dengan present worth, you akan dapat ratio dia tetap sama. Okay, ratio P dia sama je, 1.085. Maknanya yang ni dia masih menggunakan bergantung pada I, dan dia punya ratio dia tetap sama. Okey. Okey, kalau dia punya cycle tak sama pun you boleh kira, pasal you convertkan kepada A value. Ingat because of the A value, kalau 40-20 you boleh kira pada current punya ni je. Tak perlu risau, you convertkan pada A, then you boleh dapat dia punya cost dia. You can compare. Alright. So yang ni I think I leave it to you to go through, which is this one straightforward. Now people will ask, ada tak cara lain to evaluate kalau present worth dengan annual equivalent cash flow ni dia sebenarnya bergantung pada I. So ada cara lain untuk apa tu, evaluate what we call as a internal rate of return, IRR. Okay, so what is IRR? Okay, so far dah 2 semester berturut kita tanya soalan IRR je. Okay, so don't need to pre-specify minimum rate of return in judging project. Ini kelebihan dia kan, maknanya tak perlu tahu what's the value of I. Okay, internal rate of return is the interest rate that makes the present worth of the project exactly zero. Maknanya untuk yang ini you cari berapa IRR dia. Okay, so kalau you dapat dia punya you convertkan supaya present worth, tadi you tahu present worth kan, present worth, then you tahu berapa value present worth bila I dia equal to 0. Berapakah value I untuk dapatkan present worth equal to 0. So kalau you akan what we call it, you akan invest project if I yang you dapat tu below than internal rate of return yang you jangkakan. Contoh dia you kira-kira, dia punya I dia adalah 5%, which is you punya expecting IRR dia adalah 6%. Jadi it's worth it for you to invest. So macam mana nak buat? Ni syarat dia. To determine IRR, find I star value in the relation present worth equal to 0, annual worth equal to 0, and forward future worth equal to 0. Ataupun dengan kata lain, present worth outflow sama dengan present worth inflow, dia punya value dia sama. So daripada situ baru you buat evaluation project is economically viable if I star you greater than minimum attractive rate of return. Alright. Contoh dia, consider a stream of cost and revenue over time. So present worth equal, dia kata kalau present worth dia sama dengan 3924 pada kadar 18%, dan present worth dia equal to negative 6051 at 20%. Dia macam mana nak buat? Jadi kita kira lah, dia dah bagi PW I sama dengan 18%, PW I sama dengan 20%. Apa you perlu buat adalah you plotkan present worth versus interest rate kat sini. So you ada tadi 2 point kan, dia kata pada 18% amount dia 4,000 something, pada 20% amount dia negatif 6,000. So you plotkan satu line, daripada plot line ni you akan dapat yang bersilang dengan axis X ni, nampak? Di mana yang bersilang ni adalah pada value P present worth dia equal to 0. So nak tahu berapa value kat sini. Daripada sini you dapatkan ni berapa value titik persangan ni. Ini dah matematik senang kan? Boleh tak you dapatkan ni? Okay, so present was equal. So you tahu dia punya slope dia, you dapat slope. Bila you dapat slope, daripada situ you nak dapatkan y equal to 0, you gantikan je lah. You dapatkan value of x dia sama dengan 0.8. So 0.8 kan value dia ni about 0.8. Jadi dia punya value dia adalah 18.8, 18.8 ataupun 18.76. Okay. Itulah dia punya I. So I tu yang you akan worth it or not worth it tu. Alright. Boleh tak yang itu? Do you have any questions so far? Okay, you can try this example. A factory start operations at the end of year 0. Capital cost arise in year -2, -1 and 0. So can convert to present worth in year -2 or to value in year 0. Okay. Ni dia punya kilang tadi. Assume expenses of -2 dia letak 300k, kemudian -1 800k, kemudian in year 0 700k, in year 0 another 200k again. So macam nak kira ni? Okay. So you can convert to future value in year 0, alright, everything pada you petik je mana-mana interest rate dia 10% contoh dia kan. So you akan dapat all this investment in the year 0 punya value at interest rate of 10%. Faham tak ni kan? So daripada sini kita dapat value dia pada 10% value present worth 43. Okey. Kemudian daripada sini you boleh juga tukarkan, nak tengok benda ni okey tak okey. Okey. Okay, this another example kalau you nak beli bond. Okay. Kalau soalan dia find IRR of 10k 7% 20 years bond. Okay, so this one bought for 8k. This one can't do without knowing purchase price. Okay. So kalau bonds pay 7% of 10k per year for 20 years, 10k in 20 years, then will IRR be higher or lower than 7%? This one you can calculate. Okay. You can convert ni. You ada dua value present worth at different at a different interest, 9% dengan 10%. So daripada situ you plotkan dia punya line, you akan dapat mana tadi dia tak tunjuk. So you kena kira dan you plotkan dia punya graph dia. Okay. Then from there you can calculate. Okay. Alright. So kita nak break, tapi sebelum break akan break dekat situ. Okay, so apa yang kita dah tengok tadi, mari share kat sini. Okay, summary sebelum you pergi break. Okay, summary. Okay, someone please summarize apa yang kita dah tengok tadi. You boleh tulis kat sini. Anyone? Sambil tu onkan you punya mic, boleh cakap. Apa yang you dah tengok? Apa yang you dah faham? Class, are you there? Class. Class. Muhammad Zafir ada? Muhammad Zafir. Siti Nur Sarah. Okay, Siti Nur Sarah cakap apa? Cash flow diagram. Okay, formula FPA. Alright. Siti Nur Sarah ada. Yang lain? Kita ada 100 orang, takkan tak ada apa-apa. Feedback. N tolak 2 N tolak 1 kemudian N. Okay, you tahu present value, you tahu future value, you boleh dapatkan, you boleh tahu A value, you tahu I dia berapa dengan I, you tahu N, right? Then you can get all the values. Then for investment, you boleh gunakan first is as a what we call as a present worth, betul tak? Kemudian apa lagi? Selain present worth apa? Annual. Selain daripada present worth apa lagi? Annual. Annual apa? Annual equivalent cash flow. Good. Lepas tu, yang ketiga, apa keburukannya ni? Ini bergantung pada dia punya life cycle. Present worth, life cycle, annual dah tak pakai life cycle dah. Tapi kedua-dua ni masih bergantung pada interest rate dia kan? I dia. Jadi daripada situ, you gunakan pula IRR. Internal apa? Rate of return kan, IRR. You dapatkan IRR untuk cari what's the I yang menjadikan present worth equal to 0, annual worth equal to 0 dan future worth equal to 0. Okay. So itulah yang you dah belajar selama 1 jam setengah buat masa ni. Alright, we take 10 minit rehat. Kita akan sambung balik pada 3.40. Alright. To those yang nak bertanya soalan boleh tanya soalan. Mana yang rehat boleh take a rest. Ya, Muhammad Iqbal. Internet of return. Internal rate of return. Okay. So, terus yang nak bertanya soalan, you can ask the questions. Lepas yang lain boleh pergi rehat dulu. student, class, class, okey, senyap je semua. Okey, so siapa yang ada di sini tolong angkat tangan. Siapa yang masih bersama dengan seorang, 7, 13, 15, 19, 23, 24, 31, 33, 41, 46, 47, 48. Tengok dapat tak? 70, at least 70, 50, 50, 50, baru 50, 50, lagi 20, lagi 20. Ramai dah tidur ni. 51, 52. Okey. 52. Ramai yang online tak online. Okey, alright, tak apa, 55 dah. Letak tangan. Okey, jom kita sambung sikit lagi. Okey. So untuk IRR, alright. So you all kena buat revision. Please do a revision. So next week, if you not understand or you not clear what we talk about today, please ask. Okay. So mungkin this is the first time you open the notes, alright. So you don't have any so much questions, but please, okay. Please look on it and keep asking, because I worry you are not able to answer the question. Same like previous semester. Okay, most of students not answer these calculations, which is the easiest way for you to get marks. Okay, but most of students not answer it properly and correctly. Okay, all right. So these are some examples. Okay, using internal rate of return (IRR), using calculation. For example, an investment of 20,000 in new equipment will generate income of 7,000 per year for 3 years, at which time the machine can be sold for an estimated 8,000. If the company MARR is 50% per year, should it buy the machines? Okay, so kalau you tengok kat sini, dia tak beritahu pun kan. So daripada situ, you have to try and error. Try and error, kat sini dia kata MARR dia adalah 15%. So what you can do is from all the informations, from the early information, which is for example investment 20,000. So from 20,000, you calculate what is net present value. Okay, present value when the I equal to 15%. Okay, you got the amount for 20,000. Of course, it's maintained 20,000 because it's a year 0, right? So you look on the year 3, for example, year 3. Okay, it said generate income of 7,000 per year. That means this a value. A value 7,000. So from A value 7,000, calculate what's a P value. Okay, you get 15,000. Then when you sold the machine during after 3 years, right? You set at 8,000, so 8,000, then you convert 8,000 to this is a future value. Future value convert to present value. Then you add out everything, you will get 1242.71. Okay, so now let's try change it to 20%. At 20%, you will get negative. See, the amount is negative. So you have a one positive, negative, positive, negative, negative. All right. So basically, you have two data. This data, uh, basically you can start draw the line, okay, or you can calculate because this one already changed. Okay, you can see the change, present value is changed. So you raise up to 18%. So 80%, you get this value. Okay, so you solve using interpolation technique, you will get I is 18.2%. Okay, that means since I is greater than MARR, so that means the company should buy the machine because this is for investment. All right. So that's why be careful, read the question properly. All right, then you can easy for you to understand. Also, you can use a table to calculate. Okay, but when you use a table like this, it's quite confusing sometimes. You write the numbers. You miscalculate. If you put in the using calculation and you make it table like this, more easier for you. Is my suggestions, okay? But also not a problem if you can write it like this. Right? Sometimes error happen. Okay, so be careful with that. Okay, so capital investment appraisal. Okay, so capital investment appraisal techniques is the planning process used to determine whether an organization long-term investments such as new machinery, replacement of machinery, new plants, new product, and research development project are worth the firm capitalization structure. So normally ini what you done, what you will do when you work with the industry later on. Okay, as engineers, they will ask you to calculate is it worth it or not worth it to spending, okay, to investment. Okay, so it is a process of allocating resources for major capital or investment expenditure. So why this topic relates to MEC 600 engineering society? Why? Because it's some nature of the work that you will do later on. Okay, that's why you won't see any subject related to this economy, right? This is the first time you will see it, and hopefully you understand why you learn it. All right. So one of the primary goals of capital budgeting investment is to increase the value of the firm to the shareholder. Okay. So capital investment appraisal techniques. There's a four type. Either you calculate using the payback period, how long it will be cover, net present value (NPV). You already know what's a present was. Now you look on the net present values there. Internal rate of return (IRR). Tadi dia tengok IRR, and then return of investment. Okay. For example, Bennett Snebra is a medium-sized metal fabricator that is currently contemplating two projects. Project A requires an initial investment of 42,000. Project B an initial investment of 45,000. The relevant operating cash flow for the two projects are presented in table 1. Okay, here is a capital expenditure. All right. So from there you have two projects. So which project you will invest? So, as I mentioned earlier, whatever you do, please make sure you're able to draw the cash flow diagram. So here is a cash flow diagram for project A, 42,000. Every year you will receive 14,000. Correct? 14,000 operating cash inflow. inflow, cash inflow, okay? Okay, if you see here, project B, the amount is not consistent. Project A is more easier to do calculation, but it's okay. So from here, payback period, if you look on the payback period, you spend 40,000, year one you get 14,000, year two you get 28,000, year three you get 42,000. That means within 3 years you get back the money. All right, okay. So for the project B, this one straightforward. 45,000. First year you get 28,000. Second is 12,000 plus 20,000, which is 40,000. Then the year and 10,000, which is total 50,000. Which is project B, you will the payback period is shortened compared to the project A. This one based on payback period. Okay. So the payback period method simply measure how long in year or months it takes to recover the initial investment. That's the purpose of payback period. So the maximum acceptable payback period is determined than the maximum acceptable payback period accept the project. But if a payback period is greater than the maximum acceptable payback period, reject the project. Straightforward, right? That's how to calculate the payback period, okay, based on investment. So there's a pro and cons on payback periods, which is the payback period is widely used by large firms to leverage small projects and by small firms. Okay, it is simple, intuitive, and consider cash flow rather than accounting profits. It also gives implicit consideration to the timing of the cash flow. All right. So it's widely used as a supplement to the other methods such as net present value and internet rate of return. Okay, major weakness. The appropriate payback period is a subjective determined numbers. Kenapa dia kata determined numbers? Because of semua value yang you nampak ni, ini adalah you expect you akan terima, not the real one. Okay, so sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. Alright. It also failed to consider the principle of wealth maximization because it's not based on the discounted cash flow. Okay, so payback fails to fully consider the time value of money. That's the weak cons of payback period. Okay, so now let's look on the second capital investment project technique, what we call as net present value. Okay, net present value is found by subtracting the present value of the after-tax outflow. Maknanya whatever amount yang ke depan you akan dapat, you bring back to present. Okay, if NPV greater than 0, then you receive the accept the project. If NPV lower than 0, then you reject the project. If NPV is equal to 0, technically indifferent. Okay, so it depends. But straightforward, if NPV you kira whatever amount yang future tu you bawa ke belakang and you dapati dia adalah NPV dia lebih bagus, so then you accept. So let's look on the example. Okay, same data, then you assume 10% cost of capital. Okay, bila we cakap NPV mesti gunakan dia punya interest rate kan, ataupun rate of return. Okay, dari sini okay, you do a cash flow diagram again, then you bring all the amounts. This can consider as A amount kan. A amount ni you convertkan kepada apa? Kepada net present value. Then you boleh dapat untuk 5 tahun, this NPV dia 11,000. Okay, untuk project B, for project B, setiap satu ni you convertkan. Okay, ini adalah future value, you bring it. Future value you bring it back, future value you bring back, future value to the present value. Then from here dapat dia 10,920. Project A is still better. Betul tak? In terms of net present value. Tadi kalau you gunakan payback period, dia kata project B is better. You kan nampak ada different Okay. Ni kalau gunakan using Excel, you boleh buat. Okay. Ni ada rumus functions NPV net present value punya. You apply dalam Excel, then dia automatic calculate, right? This one kalau you using formulas, okay, you bring from all the futures amount to the present value. Okay, yang ini dia consistent, so we can consider as a convert, sama ada you convert satu-satu ataupun you boleh bawa semua. Tadi bawa semua kan, yang ini bawa semua, you A then you convert satu amount, tapi yang ini you boleh by year, okay, step by step, you akan dapat jawapan yang sama. Okay, itu tadi NPV. So you can see the difference between payback period and NPV. Now, if you use IRR, what's IRR? Internal rate return is the discount rate that will equate the present value of the outflow with the present value of the inflow. Okay, so the IRR is the project rate of return. If IRR greater than K, accept the project. If IRR lower than K, then reject the project. Ni how you make a decision. Okay, for example, the same apa tu tadi? The same example from the payback period using the NPV. Now we use IR. You tengok you nak tahu what is the interest rate to bring all this value to become the same, okay, same as your investment. So the net present value dia akan jadi zero. So you akan dapat calculation of the punya interest, which is 19.9%. But kalau you buat project B, untuk convertkan setiap satu ni, okay, IR berapa IR supaya dia dapat amount dia 45,000. Okay, kalau you kira, you akan dapat IRB dia adalah 21.7%. So 21.7%, which is yang ni 19.9%. Internal rate of return, what do you think? Which one's better? So which one is better? Itulah yang you tadi dia kata apa? IR is greater except the project, kan? Kalau sini maknanya 21.7%. So you balik kepada project B. Betul tak? Tadi mula project B, dan project A, kemudian project B balik. Correct tak?
Betul.
So you can see the difference lah. Okay. Okay, itu adalah untuk internal rate of So another one is a return of investment, ROI. So how to calculate ROI? ROI, you calculate profit divided by investment. Okay, so profit divided by investment, okay, maknanya kalau sini profit dia, contoh untuk project A 28,000 divided by 42,000, so dapat 66.67%. Okay, ni yang untuk ni kan. Macam ni you kira profit tadi. Profit tadi, all the cash ini you tolakkan dengan 40,000. 14,000, 5 kali 5, 70,000, tolak 40,000, dapat 28,000. Yang ini pula, setiap satu ni you campurkan, also same, cash in 70,000, you minus ni, dapat 25,000, which is lower. So, projek mana yang pilih? Projek A balik, ROI dia. Okay. Kalau kita tengok tadi example yang sama, kita gunakan example yang sama. Bila you gunakan payback period, dia kata project B. Bila you kira gunakan net present value, dia kata project A. Bila you kira balik gunakan IR, dia kata project B. Bila you kira balik return on investment, dia gunakan, you akan dapat project A balik. Okay. So you as engineers, mana you akan pakai? Now my question to you. Okay, so basically kita dah habis dah. You as engineers, my questions. What do you think? What type of apa tu investment teknik yang you akan guna? Siti Nosara. Siti Nosara. Mana Siti Nosara cakap apa? Siti Nosara kata Siti Nosara, I tanya you, daripada empat teknik tadi, yang mana you rasa suitable kalau you as a engineer? Okay, Muhammad Firdaus, sila. Muhammad Firdaus ni ada? Muhammad Firdaus, what do you think? Last method, ROI. Why ROI? Any specific reason why ROI? Siti Nusara, jawab, biarlah jawab habis soalan. On lah speaker tu bercakap. Ish. I'm not sure. Okay. Siapa ada lagi yang dalam ni? Siapa yang willing nak memberikan pandangan atau pendapat? Alif Haikal? Anas bin Yais? Hamzah Syafiq? Azizi Amirul? Hadi Afiq? Muhammad Khairul Azhar? Muhammad Nurizat? Come on. Kelas. Apa semua tak bersuara? Tolong on you punya ni lah. Saya rasa depend pada situation, Doktor. Yes, betul. Muhammad Azri. Alright, so as engineer sebenarnya it depends on to whom you want to present it. So be careful make sure you clearly. Kalau you want to present to the investor, okay, normally you will present ROI dengan dia punya payback period dia. Okay, sebab ROI dan payback period dia almost same. ROI is in term of berapa dia dapat, then dia akan cerita juga berapa cepat dia boleh dapat dia punya return on investment. Alright. ROI earns maximum profit. Ya, betul, it's a maximum profit. That's right. Kata kalau you kalau you want to talk about investor, you akan cakap ROI, dan pada masa sama you akan cakap juga payback period selama berapa lama. That's why it's a penting kepada siapa you nak explain. Kalau you explain kepada accountant, contoh dia accountant, dia punya terms lain pula. So when you prepare your project, make sure you know who is your audience. Alright. Okay. So do you have any questions so far? Untuk kesemua subjek yang kita belajar hari ini? Yes, sila.
Apa yang saya masukkan Audi tu?
Apa yang saya masukkan dengan?
Audi yang check.
Bukan audit, audience. Mana you nak ceritakan pada siapa?
Oh, okay.
You punya panel, bila you nak present, you nak buat paperwork kan? You nak gunakan yang mana? Okay. When to use NPV or IR? Okay. Tadi you faham tak konsep apa beza NPV ataupun present worth dengan internal rate of return? Okay. IR ni maknanya you mencari what is dia punya percentage dia. Alright. Normally kalau IR ni more to bankers. Bankers dia pasal dia kan kalau you dengar OPR penai kan berapa interest, BLR dia sekarang berapa, which is yang itu you kena kira dia punya IR dia. Kalau you cerita pada orang biasa-biasa, okay, dia orang tak nak pening dengar berapa persen bla bla bla, dia cuma tahu berapa lama I perlu invest kat sini, bila berapa ROI akan dapat. So itu cara macam mana kita nak present our project tu related people. Okay. NPV ni normalnya kalau orang yang duit tengah banyak kan, dia akan tanya berapa duit yang dia perlu letak sekarang ni. Itu mana dia NPV, mana duit dia, value duit dia pada masa ketika itu adalah zero. Boleh Siti Nusarah? Okay. Tapi NPV dia masih bergantung pada interest rate. Okay. Itu antara kelemahan dia. Alright. Okay, yang lain ada apa-apa soalan tak? So far? Do you have any questions so far?
Belum lagi saya.
Belum lagi. Alright. So buat masa ni, do you have any question about your assignment? Kalau yang subjek ni tak ada? You punya assignment, is it okay? Everything okay? Okay. SDG for my group, okay. Untuk individual assignment for my group, basically dia dah hantar start semalam, dah complete. Alhamdulillah, thank you very much. Yang hantar, yang tak hantar, kesian pada muka. Alright, and then untuk CSR, okay, untuk CSR seperti yang saya maklumkan dalam grup-grup yang lain juga ya. Kita maklumkan di sini mana-mana aktiviti CSR yang you plan jalankan di kawasan zon merah perlu diberhentikan. Okay. Dan perlu dibincangkan kembali dengan pensyarah untuk menilai ataupun menukar apakah assignment ataupun CSR yang akan ditambah baik. Okay. So you kena duduk dan zon merah. Please understand zon merah, apa itu zon merah, terutama Selangor lah. Selangor kecuali Sabak Bernam, yang terbaru di Kuantan zon merah, merah, tiada aktiviti secara face to face buat masa ini. Tolong rearrange kembali dan tolong semak bersama pensyarah masing-masing. Is it okay? Clear?
Okay, clear.
Okay. So kalau ada soalan boleh tanya. So minggu depan ada minggu tutorial di mana you akan masuk dalam kelas masing-masing. Alright. So kelas saya next week saya akan buat menggunakan Google Classroom. I akan bagi link kat you on that day. Ada masalah ke yang nak masuk Google Classroom? Kalau tak boleh, beritahu. Kita akan stay dekat Microsoft Teams je pun boleh. Minggu depan more discussion on the chapter of this financial. dan apa-apa isu berbangkit. Semua okey ke ni? Saya tanya ni semua senyap je. Are you clear with this chapter today? Waalaikumsalam. Sila.
Doktor,
Ya.
saya nak tanya berkenaan dengan lecturer pengiring. Kalau lecturer tu dari zon merah, macam mana ya? Tak kena tukar lecturer
Tak
yang zon
boleh.
hijau.
Okey. Nak buat program apa tu?
Kami
Siti
program,
Fadilah.
kami program khidmat bakti di Kampung Mantau Sejelebu, doktor. Jika lecturer pengiring kami semua dari zon merah, adakah kami perlu bersama mencari lecturer di zon hijau atau kami teruskan tanpa lecturer pengiring?
Boleh diteruskan tanpa lecturer.
Baik doktor, terima kasih.
Okey. Jadi kat sini juga saya nak ingatkan kembali kalau semua ingat pada minggu pertama kita dah maklumkan untuk program CSR kita tidak boleh meletak nombor akaun, okey, nombor akaun peribadi ataupun nombor akaun whatever kecuali nombor akaun NGO tu tak ada masalah, tapi nombor akaun peribadi kita tak boleh letak dalam kita punya apa tu maklumat maklumat kita punya apa tu banner ataupun poster-poster itu telah semua saya rasa semua dah sedia maklum kot, dah harap semua ambil berat yang itu sebabnya itu jadi kes ke atas. Alright, kita dapat highlight, dapat komplain daripada atas, which is sebenarnya kita dah record kan, bila kita explain kepada pelajar kita ada buat recording, jadi kita dah forwardkan kepada top management lah, maknanya kita dah maklumkan kepada pelajar syarat-syarat semua tu. Right? Okey, sekarang berapa yang tinggal ni? Dah tinggal 97 orang. Masuk saya 96. Tolak lagi. Okey, tolak Dr. Pakcik, Dr. Bulan, Dr. Wan Mazlina.
Doktor,
Ramai tak datang kan? Ya.
saya saya Zulkifli.
Ya.
Saya ada buat untuk program CSR bersama anak yatim dekat Ampang KL. So dekat KL dikira zon merah ke macam mana doktor? So boleh proceed je sebab ikut due date 26 bulan ni, minggu depan, Sabtu.
You buat dengan NGO kan?
Ya betul, dengan GPMS.
You group dengan siapa
Grup Dr. Ali 7A.
Tolong PM tepi.
Okay.
Tolong PM tepi.
Alright.
Okey.
Sekarang ke
kadang-kadang boleh, malam-malam pun boleh.
okey doktor.
Okey. Okey, yang lain daripada kelas lain semua okey ke? Yang daripada kelas lain, are you okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okey, okey. Ada pertanyaan soalan ke? Alright. Okay, so kalau tak ada apa, belum ada lagi. Alright, so kalau tak ada apa, I cuma nak tambah sedikit saja lagi knowledge, okay, untuk you. Alright, apa yang kita namakan sebagai interpreting company financial report. Okay, so I believe dalam ni pun setengah tu ada yang daripada background businessman, yang jual saham pun dah ramai, meniaga pun dah ramai, right? So macam mana nak memahami dan interpret, okay, company financial report. Okay, sepatutnya ini Profesor Ismail Abdul Wahab sepatutnya yang ajar ni. Alright, so mesti you dah perlu selalu nampak apa kita panggil sebagai annual report kan? Annual report company. Apa tujuan annual report company ni? Jadi annual report company ni sebenarnya adalah digunakan untuk kita melihat ataupun menilai sama ada sesuatu syarikat itu berkeadaan baik ataupun berkeupayaan. Alright. So biasa kalau kita buka annual report ni, kita akan tengok dia punya muka surat belakang sekali dulu, which is dia punya akaun untung rugi, bukan akaun untung rugi, mana kunci kira-kira dia. Okay, kunci kira-kira ni bahasa Inggeris dia apa dia punya kunci kira-kira lupa dah. Kunci kira-kira asset and liability statement. Okay, so daripada sini kita boleh nampak apa aset dia ada. Okay, apa liability dia, tanggungan dia. Alright, inilah yang kita gunakan untuk tengok sekukuh mana ataupun sehebat mana company tersebut. Macam ni dia punya cash and cash equivalent dia ada 56 juta. Alright, so kalau you dengar case 1MDB, alright, kat belakang tu tengok Pulau Pinang. You nampak Pulau Pinang? Jadi nak masuk Pulau Pinang makan pasembur. Okey. Jadi pada masa sama juga dia menunjukkan apakah liability yang ditanggung oleh syarikat. Okey, itulah yang kita boleh nampak daripada aset ataupun kunci kira-kira. Alright. Okey, so dalam section ni you boleh tengok what's a financial statement, income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet. Okey, ini sedikit sebanyaklah berkenaan dengan accounting. As a businessman ataupun as a entrepreneur, as a engineers, we should know about that. Alright. So financial statements is a final product of the accounting process. Tell how the business is performing and where it stands. Macam cakap tadi lah, preparing financial statements, final accounts is the most important step in the accounting cycle because it represents the purpose of financial accounting. Alright. So purpose of financial statement is to provide information about the financial positions, performance and cash flow of an enterprise that is useful to a wide range of users in making economic decisions and to show the result of management stewardships of the resources and trust to it. Right? That's the purpose of financial statement. That's why banyak company, even sekarang kalau kita apply grant pun, pensyarah pun, dengan company kena tunjukkan dia punya accredited, dia dah di audited, audited financial statement. Okay. So this standard income statement, cash flow statement, balance sheet dengan accounting policy and explanatory notes yang selalu ada dalam annual report. So kalau you beli saham, you boleh dapat lah annual report biasanya as a pelabur kan. Okay. Income statement yang ini untuk tahun semasa biasanya. Dia akan ceritakan berapa pada tahun tu, berapa dia dapat. Dan dia akan comparekan pada tahun lepas. Dia nampak lah, ada peningkatan revenue, right? Gross profit dia pun meningkat. Tapi tengok pula administration cost dia, ini kenapa ni meningkat? Mesti dapat bonus ke apa kan? Mungkin dia bayar bonus tinggi sikit. Okay, so profit from operations dia boleh kira. Ni net profit before tax dengan after tax. Ni yang kita nak tengok biasanya income statement. Ini kalau you nak buat investment, short investment. Kalau nak buat long investment, you tengok pula cash flow dia, macam mana keluar duit masuk. Dia tengok pula balance sheet dia. Okay, balance sheet ni tahu dia punya asset dia. Berapa banyak asset dia. Alright. So kalau asset dia banyak, maknanya you punya investment can consider as a safe. Alright. So even asset, make sure it is a asset yang bukannya asset yang macam ni. Non-current asset ni maknanya something yang boleh berubah. Alright. So itu kena jaga-jaga. Okay. So this relationship biasanya siapa ambil accounting dulu dia tahulah. Alright. So kalau cerita kat you 1 tahun pun tak habis ni untuk accounting ni. Alright. So what are financial statement? From financial statement we will be able to determine from where the firm receive cash and how it use the cash. From cash flow statement, the wealth that was generated by the firm from income statement, and the accumulated wealth at the end of the period. This one from the balance sheets. Alright. So I think this one profit and loss from the income statement, you dapat profit and loss ni kan. Kalau you loss, maknanya dia akan dalam bentuk kurungan. Kurungan tu maknanya loss.
Kalau kau pasal kau nak lapar. Tak betul ni nak kena remove sang ni.
Dah tanya dah. Baru orang cari siapa? Siapa tadi? Okay. So income statement, net profit or loss is calculated as follow. Macam mana nak dapatkan profit and loss, revenue, then you pay net sale, you kena tolakkan dengan cost of sale, then you dapat gross profit dia, then you tolak dengan expenses, you dapat net profit. Alright. Okay. The revenues are earned from the sale of goods or services. Alright, itulah ni yang you dapat. Kalau mana jualan, sama ada you kena tengok, is this because of the price increasing or the numbers of sale increasing. Kita boleh baca daripada income statement. Alright. So expenses are incurred when business receive goods and services, of course lah. Alright. Yang dalam kurungan ni adalah expenses, maknanya dia negatif. Okay, kita tengok ini dia naik 265, ini dari sini boleh nampak dia sebenarnya tak banyak pun. Okay, bila dia revenue dia sikit tapi dia punya cost of sale dia tak ada banyak sangat, tapi bila revenue naik, cost of sale dia pun naik tinggi sangat. Alright. Okay, so revenue minus expense dapat net profit. Okey, yang ni nanti baca sendiri. Straightforward. Investing activities are the investment in item that will support or promote the future activities of the business. Yang ni yang tengok dia apa tu, investing activities ni adakah dia company ni makin berkembang ataupun makin menguncur. Okey. Kalau dia jual, start jual dia punya aset dia makin kurang, maknanya it's not a good company for you to invest. Alright. Maknanya dia dah cairkan dia punya harta. Alright. Okay. Balance sheet tadi. Okay. Oh, yang rasa nak share yang itu saja. Yang lain, please go through. Okay. It's straightforward. Alright. Liquidity ratio semua tu nanti kita akan sentuh during tutorial. Okay, so with that I almost finished. Do you have any other issues yang you nak highlight? Untuk hari ini kita belajar pasal financing, kita dah cover almost all. Okay, so kalau recap balik cash flow diagram, and then you have the 3 methods, betul, 3 methods which is annual works. Okay, and then you have the works, and you have the Okay, equivalent cash flow, the present worth punya techniques, follow the internal rate of return. How to buat judgment on the investment. Okay, so any other issues ada nak raise? Class? So I ambil lagi second attendance for today. Alright, download. So saya semua tinggal lagi 94 orang. Okay. Ada apa-apa kah? Ada yang sangkut banjir ke? Ada yang berada di kawasan penempatan banjir? Okay, kalau tak ada apa, I say I want to stop here. Thank you very much for your time to be with me for almost 2 hours 33 minutes. Kalau ada yang siapa nak tanya soalan, please stay. Kalau yang tak ada apa, you may leave the class. All the best for you.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Doktor.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum Doktor.
Waalaikumsalam.
Saya nak tanya tentang CSR.
Ya, sila.
Macam saya nak buat CSR dekat sini kat Shah Alam. Tapi bila kita orang tanya pasal nak buat, kita orang target itu awal bulan 1. Tapi bila kita orang nak minta confirmation, pihak masjid banyak apa kata delay lah sebab kita orang tak dapat permission daripada JAIS. So
memang tak boleh. So memang tak boleh. Memang kena cancel dan kena tukar.
So kiranya kalau tukar tu, kalau kita orang cari kat negeri-negeri lain boleh? Ke macam mana? Ke ataupun
You tak boleh. You mana boleh keluar daripada Shah Alam? You daripada kawasan merah tak boleh pergi kawasan hijau.
So kiranya macam kalau grup saya ni kena tukar terus lah, tak boleh buat.
Have to. You punya group kena sit down, discuss what's your punya alternative. You mesti ada alternatif kan?
Sebab kita orang memang buat gotong royong je pun.
Betul, tapi macam kita beritahu awal, for CSR, you should have a alternative. Let's say kalau tak boleh keluar, what's the alternative program yang you akan buat? Don't lupakan pasal you planning sebelum ni, itu dah kita dah mark semua. Now untuk buat activity project management ni je itself je. Macam mana nak handle project management. So think about what is the alternative untuk CSR project ni.
Okay.
So duduk berbincang dengan you punya group. What's the option yang you ada?
Kiranya option yang boleh buat dekat Shah Alam jugalah.
Yes, dan tak semestinya option tu adalah program face to face.
Okay.
Fikirkan. Ada, tapi I nak you fikirkan. I nak you group discuss dulu. then propose to us.
Okey.
Boleh?
Boleh ni. Boleh kata.
Maknanya lupakan projek yang you dah plan hari tu. Maknanya projek itu sekarang ni memang kita dah tak boleh buat apa dah. Memang dilarang selanjutnya. So, what's you punya next action? Takkan you nak kata you tak nak buat apa-apa kan? Tak logik kan? You should have think about what should I do now.
Kiranya kami macam kita orang ni kena plan satu aktiviti, satu program yang tak memerlukan face to face lah.
Yes, betul. Mesti ada kan?
Okey. Faham.
Okey.
Okey, terima kasih Doktor.
Sama.
Assalamualaikum Doktor.
Salam.
Saya punya grup buat program dengan anak yatim. Tapi dekat area
Di mana?
Subang.
Okey, sama. Perlu dibatalkan.
Tapi kalau ikut pihak organisation sana, diorang bagi je kita orang buat program tu. And kita orang
Okey, PM tepi.
maksudnya PM lecturer kita orang ke PM petani?
You punya lecturer siapa?
Dr. Bulang dan Dr. Bajik.
Okey. So PM tepi. Sepatut Dr. Bulan dah suruh set up group kan?
Saya dah cakap juga kat grup tapi belum dapat respon.
So bincang itu bincang asing. Saya tak nak bincang, saya tak nak beritahu apa dia punya step kat sini. Tapi you have to discuss with you punya you punya pensyarah dan team lah.
Alright Doktor. Thank you.
Boleh? Okay, ada yang lain?